the alleged shooter, Elias Rodriguez, was a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, PSL, one of the bigger, more well-known leftist and socialist slash communist organizations in the U.S. So that has caused quite a controversy and stir amongst the communist left in the U.S. Now, I feel like every organization in relative space to this has put out a statement. And I know a lot of people don't like the statements, or there's at least some level of debate about the statements. I'm not really going to get into that because I understand why they put them out for obvious reasons. But I want to get into why this happened, why the sort of mainstream narrative around it, I think, is completely messed up. And you do see some highlights of that poking out, like obviously the neighbor of Elias Rodriguez, who was first, I think, sort of doxxed as the address of the alleged shooter. He came out and had a very eloquent statement. I unfortunately don't have the video for that, but you should check it out. Highly, highly encourage it. But the idea of this being isolated in terms of its narrative, I think, is entirely mistaken. I think we have to be quite honest here about what is the historical contemporary context of this type of violent outburst happening, right? And also, I'll be honest here. I don't think, and I see some, for lack of a better term, ultra leftists, sorry to use that term, kind of really champion this in a way that I think isn't conducive to any productive work. But I'll get into that after I get into the historical context. Now, obviously, those that are watching the show probably already know this. We have at least, over 50,000 Palestinians killed and murdered in Gaza in the last year plus, in the recent episode of the Palestinian genocide by Israel. And, these 77 years of ongoing Nakba, I think, is a right way to frame, the history of this. That this shooting of Israeli embassy staffers is not an isolated incident, especially when you look at the quote-unquote manifesto of the alleged shooter that Ken Klippenstein, or whatever his name is, put out.